went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way, when all at once a wild herd of red-eyed cows he saw, a-plowing through the ragged sky, and up a cloudy draw. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh, the ghost riders in the sky. Their brands were still on fire and their hoofs were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky. He saw the riders coming hard and heard their mournful cry. Yippee-yi, yippee-yi-oh, the ghost riders in the sky. Their faces gaunt, their eyes were blurred, their shirts were soaked with sweat. He's riding hard to catch that herd, but he ain't caught it yet. 'Cause they've got to ride forever on that range up in the sky, on the horses snorting fire. As they ride on, hear them cry. Yippee-yi, yippee-yi-oh, the ghost riders in the sky. As the rider looked on by him, he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell, riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-yi, yippee-yi-oh, the ghost riders in the sky. Hi there, Dr. Dennis, Bluegrass Ukulele once again. And that was a very familiar song that was written by Stan Jones and recorded for the first time back in 1948. He was a park ranger in Death Valley, California, and became an extra in a number of Western movies through the 1950s. He had a terrible time getting this thing accepted by the music publishers, because they kept saying to him over and over again that the theme was just too dark, and people didn't want to listen to a song that talked about that kind of theme. Nonetheless, once it got out there, among other musicians, it's been recorded time and time again by numerous different groups and has a life all of its own. Just a few things about some of the embellishments with bluegrass to this song on the ukulele. You can see that I have a little clamp that is attached to the instrument's neck. It's called a capo, and this particular one, it's a combination where you screw this to make it a little bit tighter, and then you have a clamp that clamps down on the neck. You put it just behind the fret. Now, I tend to avoid using capos because I really think it's better for a person to learn how to modulate into different keys and bar using their own finger up the neck. But in this particular case, it was just too difficult for me to maintain the fourth string acting as a fifth string drone sound, and still have it in this key because it's got kind of a range. It goes very low and it goes very high if you haven't noticed that. So capos are totally legitimate to use. In this particular case, I chose to do it. So until next time, just remember that there's all kinds of different bluegrass techniques where we're using the forward roll here. We're using the forward reverse roll, and then we were strumming like we would with another technique that belongs to so many other stringed instruments. If I were playing along with the group, I'd probably do vamping, which is playing on the offbeat, like that. And also we were moving up the neck in order to get a little bit different sound to change the mood as we worked on through. So I encourage you to continue to experiment if you have an ukulele. And if you haven't, I'd highly encourage you to get a hold of one. And we use slack key tuning, in which we take the traditional tuning of the ukulele, and the first string is tuned from an A down to a G. We'll see you next time.